Hello, my friends. This is the Microsoft 1 month overview reading for June 2022. Before I get started, guys, do me a favor. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button. We're really trying to grow our audience here so we can keep moving forward and putting more stuff out there. We need to build a team here. There's so much stuff going on. And the best way for us to do that is catch traffic and subscribers. So please pay it forward with the money that you make from this information and pay it backwards by hitting that subscribe button. With that said, guys, the overall theme and behavior for Microsoft for the month of June, it looks to be congruent with what I saw for the S&P 500 overview. We have sort of a relief rally at the end of May into early June, but July we see lower lows. Or possibly we test the same lows. That could be the case as well, although I think we probably see lower lows. And that's congruent with this. We see the behavior around the lows, the month lows here, is going to be a rally that increases in momentum as it moves forward in time. And it comes out of a low that forms through some like downward. It's like downward. There's a decline, but with spikes up, and each spike is lower on the way down. And that's basically the overall theme and behaviors that we have, like a decline with spikes up to meet moving averages as resistance, and then they fall further and they spike up not as high, and then they fall further and the spike's not as high. And that's the type of decline that we should see. So there's like a rally to start it, and that's an opportunity to get out. Looks like we have a prominent high here. Let's say on the third, give or take a one trading day. Looks like we have a prominent trough here on Friday the 10th. Another prominent high here on the 13th, and it looks like there's definitely something going on over here on the 13th as far as there's like a spike higher, but it's in the midst of a bunch of like negative headwinds. Everybody expects it to go lower, but then we have month low correlators on the 14th and 15th, so we'll likely see an important, if not a month's low, we'll see an important trough here on the 14th, 15th. Yeah, and the sneak preview card for July as well is the Hangman card, which is a strong decline through an important support level. So lower lows, guys. It's very congruent with what I'm seeing on the rest of the reading thus far. Looks like we have a prominent crest at the end of the month on the 30th, towards the end of the day. Ah, okay, so looks like towards the end of the day on the 8th, somewhere on the 8th, I'm going to want to purchase some protection on Microsoft in the form of puts. Big decline at the end of the 24th. All right, guys. So let's get more detailed here. On the first, we have we're range bound on the first for Microsoft. There's one local high. So what I mean by local highs, if you're looking at a one-day chart of Microsoft for the day of the first, there should be one prominent high there. There's also one important trade opportunity. It looks like we have a notable move overnight towards the end of the day on the first, or overnight on the second. There's a big range is covered, a lot of ground as far as price movement. And we have a month's high correlator on the second. It looks like we have a rally that breaks down through a diagonal trend line and increases with volatility on the way down as we move forward through the day. another month's high correlator there on the 3rd. Oh, also there's a swing trade opportunity on the 2nd. Looks like we have a day trade opportunity on the 3rd. So swing trade opportunity there on the 1st and the 2nd. Looks like one trade. A day trade on the 3rd. And the day trade, it looks like the entry is going to be at a failed attempt to break resistance. So we probably hit the same high again here on the 3rd. We see that as we tried to test that a few times. And we failed to break through it. People think we're going to break through it, and it's expected to break through, and then it falls, and it fails hard. And then that's the day trade, is to get out there. Looks like we have a important crest early on the 6th, overbought territory, and we sell down, profit taking into the end of the day on the 6th. We have a trade opportunity towards the end of the day in the midst of a rally on the 7th. Looks like we bump along the majority of the day on the 7th. We bump along resistance is the majority of the behavior that we'll see on the 7th. On the 8th, multiple headwinds will push shares down from. It looks like there's an important decision between two leaders, maybe possibly two executives. Let me check that. Cross-check that with S&P June. Something in the news. There's something in the news that comes out here around the 9th or the 10th. Looks like, yeah, something in the news comes out on the 9th or the 10th. There we go. Okay, so trade opportunity at a high. Looks like likely towards the end of the day we open lower on the 8th and move higher, but then fall hard towards the end of the day or overnight. There's an opportunity in there to open up some short positions, protect against long positions, just like over here on the early in the month. The end of a bullish rally looks like, and we decline sharply into the end of the day. There's two local lows on the 1-day chart for the 9th, and looks like we crossed through resistance, or we crossed through a price level back and forth 3 times. So there's some price swinging volatility and stuff going on there, but it ends up to be 2 local lows. One is in the midst of the price swings. Another one is going to be along a support level when we're traveling sideways along support, and then we start to pick up steam towards the end of like that time frame. Like as we move forward in time, that sideways may turn into more of a rally. A cash-in opportunity at a month's low towards the end of the day. Towards the end of the day on the 10th, it looks like we have a rally higher. It marks on the 10th. We have a rally higher, a big move higher that marks an opportunity to open up short positions or protect against long positions. And then we do one of these again throughout that day on the 10th to reach a cash-in opportunity at a low on the 10th towards the end of the day. Also a prominent, if not at least the month's low at that time, or a prominent trough there. We open up higher on the 13th. I'm still learning my ruins, guys. Always learn something. As soon as you stop learning, you're wasting life. Okay, yeah, all right. So, a prominent high on the 13th. Looks like we open higher, And then midday there's an opportunity to trade to. So I likely would have purchased if, at that low at the end of the day on the 10th. I likely would have purchased some calls for a day trade over the weekend, and I'd probably sell those midday on 13th in the midst of a big move higher. Even though there's negative headwinds, it's going to go higher. But then we failed to break through resistance. We turn around and we decline through an important support level. And there's one local high, one local low on the 13th. If you're looking at a one-day chart of the 13th. On the 14th, we have sort of like a U-shaped dip near some intersecting diagonal trend lines. And we sell down to support, through support, and then back up to use that price level as support again from a month's low that takes place early in the day on the 14th, and looks like turns back into a rally up higher out of that to reach a local high. That rally higher on the 14th marks an opportunity to short again. We have a month's low correlation for the 15th. And we have sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend as well on the 15th to reach. And there's one local high there, so interesting. Luxury. Looks like over the 14th, 15th, and 16th, the same price level is highlighted, that luxury level where we'll sell down through it and then back up and hang along it. That could happen possibly on the 14th, 15th, and 16th, or like one big one over those 3 days. On the 16th, we have a climb up through resistance. We stay up there briefly, and then we break that and back down through that same price level, and it makes like a capital A. If this line right here, if this bookshelf was like the price level, we would go like this through it. So like a capital A, if you will. Looks like another rally there. We have a rally on the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Each one of those days, when there's a rally, it marks an opportunity to short or open up some short positions. On the 17th, a swing trade opportunity as well. In the midst of a sharp decline, looks like we revisit an important support level that was a past opportunity. There's a trade opportunity around that decline there. We have one local high on the chart, which will be where we'll fall from a local high, which we'll be doing like sideways rotational, and then we'll dip sharply. An important piece of news comes out on the 20th, near like around the time of the day's low. There'll also be bullish price swinging out of the day's low. And from one local low, we'll move higher along a diagonal trend line, break through horizontal resistance, meet a second resistance, and then we'll pull back to somewhere between those two price levels on the 20th. On the 21st, we have a fast, notable rally higher to reach one local high for that one-day chart on the 21st. There's a trade opportunity and a fast, sudden move higher that marks the end of a period of volatility. And the local high there will form somewhere around a something to do with two leaders in an agreement or decision between two leaders. Something in the news. Yeah, and there's resistance. There's an important resistance that's highlighted there. We may break through it momentarily. Looks like on the 22nd, we break through resistance briefly, and we do like another capital A shape where we break up through it for just momentarily. We're just there briefly, and then we break back down through that same price level. The rally there on the whatever rally there that takes place there on the 22nd is also another opportunity, guys, to short. Looks like one local low on a one-day chart for the 23rd. It's an opportunity to cash in at a low. The there'll be some sideways rotation likely there, but we'll fall through a support, meet a second support, and then we'll move along that support sideways around the low there. On the 24th, this may be an executive, something to do with an executive here. We have something again in the news with a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a period of volatility. But again, we also have a cash-in opportunity at a local low here for the one-day chart on the 24th, and a trade opportunity in the midst of that fast sudden move higher, because it looks like towards the end of the day or over the weekend or both, we have a big move to the downside, and likely we gap down on the 27th when we move higher, another rally marking an opportunity to short. Remember guys, July is going to be lower lows. There's all this short stuff going on here, but that will be a notable move to the upside on the 27th. There's an implied decline somewhere between the 27th and the 28th, and out of that decline we move higher again, possibly moving a full range. The Ace of Cups, there's also so that decline that takes place is a prominent decline, marks a trade opportunity in there, short-term trade opportunity for a long position to sell on the 30th at the end of the day. Looks like we have a big move higher on the 29th, a failed attempt to break through resistance at a local high for the one-day chart, and then we fall through an important support level to reach a local low for the one-day chart on the 29th. From a high at the end of the day, or a high, there's a prominent high for the month, a prominent high for the month here on the 30th, and a sharp decline that comes out of that high. Looks like we expect to break through resistance. We don't, and we fail. And we break down through support level, and there's another notable move lower. There's a trade opportunity, day trade opportunity there on the 30th as well. All right, guys, that's the Microsoft 1 month overview for June 2022. Let me know if you like this sort of stuff, guys. If you want to see more of Microsoft June 2022, or excuse me, if you want to see more Microsoft monthlies, you can order monthlies, recurring monthly on our website, tarotfortraders.com. These things take a lot of work. They're actually a lot more work than even like the 1 years, and they're also very detailed, guys. So if you're interested, let me know. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, you feel free to comment. We'll get to that stuff eventually. And thanks for watching, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And again, guys, when you make money from this reading, pay it forward. I'll see you on the next one.